Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you've never seen me before, then hi, welcome. So for this week's reading vlog, there's gonna be like a recurring theme or just one specific mood, and that's sadness. There's gonna be a lot of crying in this video, so just warning you, probably and most definitely ugly crying, but what can you do? You know, I feel like that's the goal. If I do ugly cry, then I've succeeded, because that's what I wanted to do this week. Cry it all out. Just really have a good cry. I feel like we all need it sometimes. I feel like I haven't like cried like that in a long time. Actually, that's not true, but like reading a book that has made me feel like that. So I researched and I found 3 books that I think are the most popular among that genre. Sad books and just books that are absolutely gut-wrenching and will rip your heart out, throw it on the street, and let a truck run over it. That's what I'm looking for this video, and that's what I found. So the first book is If He Had Been With Me. I feel like everyone has heard of this book, and I feel like everyone has pretty much the same reaction to this book, especially like the ending. So I just know definitely this book will make me ugly cry. And then next we have 1,000 Boy Kisses. I feel like this is also one book you've probably heard of. Again, like all over TikTok, people's reaction to that book is how I want to feel like. And lastly, we have Pack Up the Moon. This is one, I feel like, I don't know if you've heard of it, but I do know it's not as popular as the first 2. It's kind of like mixed, because for this book there's not a guaranteed good cry. Seeing people read this book, some have cried like that, but others have just, it's sad. It's a sad book, definitely, but I've seen other people that haven't cried like that. They have said it just made them really sad. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, so that's it. That's all I have to say. And also, this is probably the only time, well, like today, that you'll see me wearing makeup, because I'll probably decide not to for the rest of this video, just because like I'm gonna be crying a lot. I'm an ugly crier, so I feel like that's enough for you to see. You don't need to see my ugly crying plus or mixed with mascara running down my face, you know? Whatever. Let's just get on with the video. First, let me tell you which book I'm gonna read first. I'm like all over the place today. I don't know what's going on with me. Okay, I think I'm gonna read first If He Had Been With Me. That's the one that's calling out to me the most right now, so I'm gonna start reading that one, and I'll update you when I have anything to say. All the songs on this playlist that I found on Spotify are already making me cry. When We Were Young by Adele. Are you kidding me? Hours later, and I just wanted to update you on where I'm at. So currently on page 92, and basically the plot is about Autumn and Finn, and they've been childhood best friends even since before they were born, because their mothers are like best friends, like they're really close. So since the second they were born, you know, they were kind of meant to be best friends. That's how it was until sometime around like when they were in middle school, where they just grew apart. Like they stopped talking to each other, they didn't hang out with the same people, they didn't take the same classes, and they just, yeah, kind of stopped hanging out together. Again, kind of drifted apart. And that's basically it. Like, it's fast-paced, and it kind of feels like it's a diary entry. Like Autumn is writing in her diary, and she's telling me, or like, you know, whoever's reading, like this is what happens almost like even every day. Today at school this happened and that happened, and it really takes me back to like when I was in high school or even middle school. Like the emotions she's conveying and like the way she's describing it really puts me in like her shoes, and like again takes me back to that time, and most of it is relatable to me. So that also kind of makes it feel like a coming of age book, because I don't know, it's just giving that vibe, even though there's definitely romance, but it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. But I don't know, again, it's fast-paced, short chapters. I'm like flying through it, but at the same time nothing is really happening, so I'm like waiting for something to happen, or at least waiting for it to get more interesting. Enjoying it. I want them to like start talking again, you know, because like it's obvious that they still care so much for each other, but they're letting like small silly little things get in the way. It's frustrating, but I'm still very early on in the book. We'll see, but I'm not getting like any sad vibes at all. But the first chapter did really hint at something, foreshadowing something, I guess. So I guess we'll come back to that. Yeah, I'll update you if I need to say anything else. Oreo. I don't remember the the last time I talked to you, but I know it's been a day. Yesterday was Valentine's Day and I went book shopping, went to the bookstore. I just wanted to buy a romance book, you know, because it was Valentine's Day and I was feeling like it. Best way to spend Valentine's Day, to be honest. After that, we went out to eat. So honestly, all day yesterday, I didn't read a lot. I did read a little bit when I went to the bookstore, but today I definitely made up for that because I have read a lot today. And right now, I left off on page 275. So I'm definitely gonna finish this today, but I stopped because since like literally I woke up, I haven't been able to put it down, but I'm gonna fold some laundry right now. And after I do that, I'm gonna keep on reading and finish it. But to kind of tell you what I'm thinking right now, honestly, like when I first thought, okay, what am I gonna say when I update you guys? I was thinking that I was gonna say that I was bored, and that was the truth, but it isn't the truth right now. In this moment, currently, I'm not bored. When I picked it up again, you know, since I woke up, it was like going very, very slow. This book is just really like slice of life. I don't know, nothing is really happening, and it's not that I'm hating it, but you know, give me something. But things picked up. A character came to a realization that I wanted that character to come to. Something happened that I wanted to happen, but then like it didn't really change anything and I got frustrated. I am frustrated, but I mean things are getting like more interesting in a way. I don't know, I'm just really like flying through it nevertheless. And honestly, I'm scared because up until now, like I honestly have like not cried, but my eyes have swelled up a little bit, like I was about to cry, because some scenes are just like really sad. Like it feels very real, like things you go through when you're in high school. Yeah, but I haven't cried yet, so I'm scared. Definitely. So probably next time I'll see you, I have finished the book. I'm at page 361 right now. 30 pages left. My heart is pounding. I don't know what to expect. I mean, this is a sad book, so what is gonna happen? I don't even want to keep reading, to be honest. Well guys, I finished If He Had Been With Me. Obviously I'm not going to talk about the book, my thoughts, opinions right now. I need to take a moment to process it all and I'll get back to you. So guys, it's a couple hours later. I think I've recovered. No, wait, that's not true. I haven't recovered. I don't think I ever will. But at least I've stopped crying now. So I don't even know where to start. I have to be very careful not to spoil anything. This book, at first, I had thought it was just like, not boring, but like I said, it's just very slice of life. It felt like a diary entry, and at some point that got like, again, not boring, but maybe it was moving a bit too slow for me. But now seeing it from another perspective, and now that I finished the book, I actually liked it because like I said, it felt like I was reading someone's diary. And I mean, she was going through a lot, and I also said this, but it felt like very real, like the high school experience, and I could relate to it because I also went through it. So it just took me back to that time. Yeah, I like that form of writing. It also is very interesting to me how, because this is like a childhood friends to lovers, and usually with that trope, it just tells you like that they grew apart and that's it, and then they don't really tell you about like that time. But what's really interesting about this book, that like this is actually about the time that they spent apart. Autumn tells us they were as close as two people can be, and then Autumn tells us that they just grew apart, and like what we're reading is during that time. She's telling us how it feels for her to go through that, for her to not talk to Finney anymore, not hang out with him anymore, and again, just like high school experience, like, you know, going through changes, her finding herself and going through other their struggles, family-wise, friendship-wise, and then obviously the center of the story here is her relationship with Finney. I just went through all that with her, and then obviously I got attached to the characters. Let's talk about the ending for a moment because I think that's the most important thing about this book. Even though I knew I was right, the beginning is a foreshadowing. I guessed what was gonna happen. Throughout the book, I kind of just forgot about that first chapter, and I got so into the book, and that's why the ending, it shocked me so much because a few chapters before, that's when I remembered the first chapter and I knew what was gonna happen. And I told you this, I was like, I'm so scared right now, like my heart is pounding because I know it's coming. And still, like the first chapter, it is a foreshadowing, but it doesn't tell you the details exactly of what happened. It will take you by surprise anyways. It was also just so abrupt, which is something that I saw many people on Goodreads and just overall when people talk about this book say that they didn't like that, and I get it, but I can also understand it because I feel like that was kind of like the point. I feel like it conveys their relationship. It's kind of like a mirror image. What happened in the ending and how it happened, it was written like that for a reason. Am I making sense? I don't really know. I mean, if you've read this book, you can understand what I'm trying to say here, I hope. Now, even though it was gut-wrenching and absolutely heart-shattering, I do like how in the ending there's this one quote from the book that is kind of like repeated, but it's like, sad things can sometimes be beautiful, something like that. And I think the ending and what happened, there's like another little plot twist at the end. I think that little plot twist, it's kind of like the beauty of it all. Even though it's very sad what happened, I don't know, I see it like that. At least that kind of made me a little bit happy for a certain character, even though like I still like, oh my gosh, I haven't stopped thinking about the book and the ending and the characters, and I don't think I will for the rest of this video and for the rest of my life. Would I recommend this book? Absolutely. Even though, I mean, you kind of have to be in the mood for it and you have to kind of expect that it's like very sad, but I feel like it's definitely worth it. Like it does have like an overall message, and I did love this book despite everything, so I decided to rate it 4 stars. Yeah, that's my rating. I literally feel like so numb right now, like after reading that book. I'm just like anyways, I think I'm gonna read Pack Up the Moon. Here it is. I'll update you guys. I'm gonna start this. It's the next day and I started reading this book. I'm only on page 7, but I just wanted to say it's already like really interesting the way it's written because this is basically about Lauren and Joshua, and Lauren has been diagnosed with a terminal illness, so she's basically dying, and they're like newlyweds, like they're recently married, very in love, almost kind of like the perfect couple. And Lauren basically has like this plan to help her husband move forward after she's dead, and so she basically like writes him one letter for every month of the year after she dies. And I guess we're reading like Joshua's journey, just reading her letters, and so that alone, the fact that it's written like Lauren writing her letters, you know, that format, I guess, that's just interesting to me. Also, very abrupt kind of like beginning, because literally on chapter 3 and it's like already she's dead, and that's not a spoiler because you kind of know it since the beginning. And also on the premise, it's like it's basically obvious that she dies, but it's still shocking because it's like, oh okay, she's dead. So yeah, I don't know like the sad aspect of this book, because I mean it is sad that, you know, she died, but I didn't get to know the character for it to be like actually sad for me. But I'm still on page 7. I'm gonna shut up now, keep reading, and I'll update you if I need to say anything else. On page 37, and just wanted to say I am tearing up a little bit just because, like, you know, the fact alone that like I can't imagine what that's like your wife, the love of your life, your soulmate dies, and like you literally don't know what to do with your life right now. So just reading her letters, we got to the first letter. Her best friend Sarah kind of delivered it to Joshua, and in this first letter she explains, like I said, she wrote a letter for every month of that first year just to help him get through this. And in basically every letter she gives him like a task or job to do. For example, this first one, it says go to the grocery store, because she's like, I can't imagine you're like sitting at home, haven't shaved, haven't showered, haven't eaten anything. And yeah, I'm tearing up already, but haven't ugly cried yet. Just wanted to say that. Also, just wanted to say I think it's such a sweet concept from his wife, because just the fact that she knew obviously that he was gonna need her help specifically to get through this, like that was the only way he could get through this. And it's just, I think it's such an amazing thing to do. I think it really is. It's a gift, because with those letters she's written to him, it just makes her feel like she's still there with him in a way. Yeah. So I stopped at page 77, or I'm at page 77 right now, but I stopped because I wanted to say something. I haven't fully cried yet, but I have been tearing up a lot because, again, it's just so sad. Like, I can't even imagine. It must be just like the hardest thing ever in the world, you know, to lose someone like that, a loved one. But like, for example, Josh, which, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned, this is dual POV. Lauren's POV, his wife, is when she was alive, obviously, writing the letters and just kind of basically telling us about moments they had together. Joshua's POV is after she dies, reading her letters, but also doing the things that she's asked him to do in the letters, and obviously dealing what he's dealing with, grief. This is in third person, which I don't normally read and I don't like as much, but another thing that I wanted to say is that it's like extremely hard, and another reason why I keep tearing up, because Lauren had a sister and like obviously friends and family, right? In another letter that she wrote to him, she said to just invite her sister over and her husband and just her best friend and just have dinner together and cry if you want to cry and talk about her if you want to. And he's doing that right now. He's having dinner with them, you know. Then they started obviously crying, and like, it's just like my heart hurts, because even though, like, you know, I'm still at the beginning of the book and I didn't get to know the character, like I'm still getting to know them both, it's still just like so sad. But anyways, yeah, just wanted to say that. Much later, and I just wanted to update you guys because, you know, before I took off my makeup and literally went to bed because I am so tired, just wanted to give one last update before I finish the book, because definitely I think the next time you'll see me, I'll have finished the book. Right now on page 281, so have about like 100 pages left, and honestly, like, I wanted to update you, but I don't know what to say because nothing has really happened. It's just been kind of slow. We're on month 9, so it's been 9 months since Lauren has died. It is really interesting because it's not in chronological order. A few chapters ago, like in her POV, it was when she was first diagnosed with this terminal illness. And also, I forgot to mention, in her POV, sometimes we read letters that she has written to her dad because her dad passed away. It's kind of also her way of keeping him alive, or like her way of still talking to him. Right now, currently, the letter that she had written for him for this month, the task that she gave him, it's kind of like, oh wow, now he's kind of like getting through that, because he feels kind of like a debt to her. Not a debt, but like he owes it to her to do everything she asked him to do in these letters. It's his way of like still being connected to her. That's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna go to bed now because I am so tired. So it's the next day. Right now I'm at page 409. So apart from the fact that I'm about to finish this, like what, I have 40 pages left. Right now I just read a Lauren chapter, like in her POV, and it was from the time that she met Josh. But they're kind of like a second chance romance, because she described the time when she literally first met him, but it was like her freshman year in college and he was a senior. It wasn't like a pleasant first meeting at all. He insulted her basically, she insulted him. But the second time she saw him, 7 years later, they hit it off. Chemistry, insane. She basically like described that she knew in her heart he was the one. And like I said, I love that it's not in chronological order, because it hits harder when I already know these characters, and now, like, you know, getting to know like when they first met each other after everything that has happened just makes it like, oh, so sad, so much sadder, but so beautiful as well. Also, Joshua, month 14, and he's about to read like Lauren's last letter to him. He didn't read it last month when he was supposed to. I guess he wanted to savor it, you know, because it's her last letter. Yeah, so I'll let you know when I finish it. finished Pack Up the Moon. As you can probably tell, I'm gonna gather myself, wash my face, and talk to you after I've done all of that. Okay, so see you soon. So I'm back. First of all, ignore this. I wash my face and I just, it gets messy. I really have to get in there, make sure every corner and inch of my face is washed. But I just wanted to talk about Pack Up the Moon. Like I said, had to gather myself and now I can talk to you about it. It's such a beautiful story. It will break your heart and shatter it into a million pieces. I don't think you'll ever be able to put them back together, but I think it's worth it nonetheless. This is, the story of Lauren and Joshua. It's also a story about grief, loss, growth, healing, and strength. And you really go through a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, I think almost every chapter had me tearing up, and the last one, I mean, you saw me. I thought I wasn't going to sob, which I did, but I thought I wasn't going to getting towards the end because I don't know, I just thought it would make me feel very sad and maybe I would tear up, but wow. There's this one last chapter from Lauren's POV, which was her last day, basically the day she died. Their last day together. Battery on my light ran out, so I had to charge it for a bit, but I'm back. I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh, okay, so yeah, it was just their last day basically together, and also I said this in my last update, but her last letter to him, and those two things absolutely gutted me, broke me, and so that's why I sobbed. So there you have it. The epilogue also took me by surprise because throughout the book something was being hinted at and I had a theory but I was wrong, and the epilogue went in a completely opposite direction, but I'm actually glad it went that way and I'm so happy with how it ended. It kind of does have a happy ending even though it's still very sad. It's kind of happy as well, and honestly the book overall, it did have, as I said, very dull moments, but towards the ending it picked up. Yeah, that was the part that I loved the most, even though it made me sob. That's weird to say, but it was the part that I enjoyed reading the most. And Josh, I've just gotta say, I love that man. Going through this journey with him, dealing with the loss of his wife, my heart broke for him, especially when you learn their story, you know that they loved each other so much, but him specifically, the magnitude of his love for Lauren, of course Lauren as well, the detail that while she was still alive she thought about him and wrote these letters to help him get through this. I really did enjoy it so much. So despite all that being said, I rated this 3 stars. Maybe I'll bump it up to a 3.5, I don't know, but yeah. That means we've reached the end of this video because I actually had planned on reading one more book, 1,000 Boy Kisses. And I know, I'm sorry if you were expecting me to read that. I won't, because not that I'm in a reading slump, but I don't know, I'm feeling very empty after reading those 2 sad books, and I just don't think I have it in me to read one more. I think I'm gonna leave it at that, only those 2 books. If he had been with me in Pack Up the Moon, which were absolutely devastating and heart-shattering, gut-wrenching, but that was my goal, have a good cry, and I did accomplish that twice. But yeah, hope you enjoyed watching. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I guess that's all I have to say. See you guys in the next video. Bye!